up? It's your boy, Daddy Dag. I hate when my freaking thing does this, bro. Why ain't the chat working, man? Why ain't the chat working, brother? Stupid as hell, boy. Why ain't the chat working? It's not popping up. It ain't popping up right now. Oh. Where's my comment, bruv? I don't know. I don't know, mate. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. It very much sucks. Can't see your comments, brother. Yeah, I know. I know what you said. I know what you said. I can read it. But I guess YouTube don't like it. YouTube don't like you saying. I guess it can detect your ethnicity and determines that you are not of the ethnicity to be doing this. You are not of the ethnicity. You are not of the ethnicity to be saying that word, brother. You just ain't. You just ain't, my bro. Absolutely disgusting. Hey, he's absolutely disgusting. You know that? Told you you're back, South African. I have a hard time believing that. I don't know why. I don't know. But when I think of you, I don't think black South African. I think of edgy 16-year-old white kid. You know what I mean? That's what vibes I'm picking off. My vibes detector is pretty solid 95% of the time. So I don't believe you. I don't believe. Dude, we need Armand to step in. That's what we need. We need Armand to step in right now. Save the day. Because Armand wanted that Oliveira shot. He wanted to fight Oliveira. You know? He wanted to fight him. Mario Bautista will beat Umar and face Merab next. Merab says he wants Mario next. Merab is losing to Corey Sandhagen. So he can have whoever he wants next. You know, honestly, yeah, Mario versus Merab is fire for maybe a #1 contender fight, but Corey's taking that belt. Corey is going to take that belt. Maybe we should do some picks. Maybe we'll do some. We'll do picks tomorrow. I feel like I haven't seen enough fight footage. We need to see some real fight footage, dude, in order to make our absolute banger opinion. All my life I grew up. How come they're not showing any of the fights? Corey Sandhagen, Malcolm Ankalaev, Alex Pereira. Dude, why are we not seeing any sort of good fights coming up on the UFC Fight Pass? That's wild because when I look at you, I see a black South African. I wish you could do the same. Ain't gonna happen. I actually don't see color, so it's a pretty tough thing, to be honest. Rob says he wants a KO over Sandman. Dude, I would love for Marab to stand with Corey Sandhagen, because if he does, he's about to get whooped. We are about to whoop him. We are about to whoop that boy. We are about to whoop that boy pretty badly. Pretty badly. We shall destroy him. Once and for all, we shall finish him off. Marab couldn't KO Dagam and Mace Cut. Alright, bro. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I mean, you know what? To each their own. To each their own. I don't think Marab could KO. Marab just don't got that in him. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's think about it. Let's hear about it. Think of this. Ready? Think of this. Okay? Marab. Last fight against Sean O'Malley. What happened? Sean O'Malley was injured. Broken foot injury. One of the worst injuries you could have in a fight, because use your foot for everything. Use your foot for striking. Use your foot for grappling. Use your foot for literally everything. Okay? And then before that, against Umar, what happened in that fight? Umar was winning, and then what was the changing thing? Umar broke his hand and then started losing. Fight before that, against who? Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley torn labrum. I've been playing a joke, torn labia, but that's just, whatever. So Marab's been getting lucky his past couple of fights. Marab couldn't, Paul or Tank, dude. That press conference was one of the weirdest press conferences I've seen in quite a hot minute. I feel. I don't know about you guys, but that press conference was pretty wild, to say the least. Let's change this actually. I like this ankle better. You can see the Chimaev jersey. We got to highlight that jersey in the back, man. We really got to highlight that jersey, bruh. But Tank, between Jake Paul and Tank Davis, I don't know. I'd probably lean towards Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a pretty mid boxer. You know, at the start of this Jake Paul boxing saga, I was like, dude, Jake Paul's low-key a pretty solid boxer. Right? I think I went against everybody with their opinions about Jake Paul. I was kind of one of the guys who were like, Jake Paul's actually a pretty solid boxer. And then I started to realize there is levels, especially at like these lower weight classes, at whatever light heavyweight or heavyweight, whatever division Jake Paul's at. It is a little bit easier for him just because the skill just isn't as much there. But once you start getting into like the nuances of boxing, I just feel like it's just hard. It's just hard for Jake Paul to be like that skilled. But I think Tank Davis will beat Jake Paul by decision. And I think it's going to be a fairly one-sided decision for Tank Davis, because at the end of the day, Tank Davis doesn't really get hit too often. Jake Paul's going to have a hard time hitting Tank Davis because it's like Tank can just literally duck down, like down low. Like Tank sometimes does that where like he ducked so low and he's already short enough. So it's like he could literally just crouch to his knees and he's solid. You know what I mean? Dave, can you elaborate on what you were saying about the 13%? Yes, I can. I heard that 13% of black socks end up going missing in the dryer. Is what I heard about 13%. That's the only 13% I know. Unless you're talking about something else. I don't know what you're talking about. I would take the trade of death in exchange for 10 seconds of sucking Grasso's feet. Yeah, I could see the math on that. I mean, yeah, but I don't think anybody would want to. But that's just because that's not necessary. You just got nothing to live for. You know what I mean? You just got nothing to live for right now. So it's like, obviously you would trade your life. It's miserable, dude. No way. It's absolutely miserable. So I would understand you train your life. Because you don't want you don't even want to be here. You all you basically said is I want to go out with a bang. Your take summed up is I want to go out with a bang, and your version of a bang isn't anything magical, isn't anything aspiring. It's kind of just you know, sexually deviant. Dags Downies unite, yeah. Dags Downies unite. We will be together. We will go on a crusade. Oh, sorry. We will go on a crusade around the world, capturing everybody. Take a look at UFC 320. Let's see this. Hold up. Uncle I Pereira 2. Dude, I feel like this card ain't too bad. Let's just check through the cards. Let's go up top. Let's go chat below. Here. Make this a little smaller. Here. This up. There. Perfect. Okay, so Alberg Reyes. We obviously have Alberg Reyes. Ivan Ersland, Jimmy Crute, which is, I don't know. It's a little bit of like an odd one. As like a co-main event, this is like extremely weak. Ivan Ersland is 0-2, right? And he's never had a win in the UFC. 0-2 in the UFC. Coming off a loss to Navajo Sterling, right? Navajo Sterling beat him, yet he's above Navajo Sterling, right? And he also lost to Ian Kutalaba. Jimmy Crute's also on this card. Like, everybody's really just paying attention to the main event. Nobody really cares about the rest of the card. Like, you have Jake Matthews, Neil Magny. This one could be an interesting one. Jack Jenkins, Ramon Tavares. This is, I feel like this is fairly one-sided. Justin Tafa versus Louis Sutherland. I mean, they're begging. They're begging Justin Tafa, please, bro, get a win. We need you to get a win. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Tafa beats Louis Sutherland and then gets ranked. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Tom Nolan, Charlie Campbell. Tom Nolan. Who has he beaten? I think he beat Kevin Jousset, the Frenchman, who trains out of New Zealand. Navo Sterling, Rodolfo Bellato. I'm not too familiar with Rodolfo Bellato's game. Oh, he had that draw with Jimmy Crute, and then he had the no context with, and then he also beat Ihor Pateria, which, you know, Ihor Pateria ain't too bad. He ain't too bad. These week's cards so bad, bro. The bald man's restarted. Yeah, I know, but what are you going to do? Nobody wants to fight in Australia. Literally nobody wants to fight in Australia. Because apparently it's like, if you're not from Australia, then like 50% of your money is taxed. And the Australia government gets it, which is, I think, is the craziest thing ever. Why, if you're an American, why are you paying huge amounts of Australian taxes? Like, I feel like, don't you already pay American taxes on the same money? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I guess Australia is just, I don't know, communists? What are they? I think the same thing stands in Canada, but like, you know. Email Mailson, email. He did summon Downies. This is random, but there's a video of an 18-year-old girl who started fire in Walmart and has been ordered to pay back $1 million by 2034. What would you do for real? I'd probably study. I'd be like, I'd get in the war room. I'd probably study, get some Johnny Walker. You know, I'd study my enemies. A milli by 2034? Yeah. 20, that's a lot of time. 10 years to get a milli, 9 years to get a milli. That's not too bad. That's easily doable. I think if you make like 50 bands, I would probably try to double it down. I'd probably try to double it down. Or you're gonna have a couple Hamzat fights. You're gonna have a couple Hamzat fights. Just bet on every single Hamzat fight. Bet on every Hamzat fight by finished in the first round, and you're guaranteed to hit. Like if you bet like 10 bands on Hamzat first round finish against a Mavov, you know, then I feel like you could get to a milli fairly cheap, fairly easily. Because, you know, it's a guaranteed lock of the card, basically. Dude, how is Navo Sterling? Like, this is so weak. Ramon Tavares, this is a solid one. Louis Sutherland, Tom Nolan, Charlie Can. Tom Nolan, did he fight? Tom Nolan. Has he fought Vyashev Borshev? He did. I remember that fight. I remember the Vyashev Borshev fight, dude. I remember the name. I remembered the name, dude. Prime Patrick Bateman, because she caused 10 million damages, but while recovering 9. Yeah, darling, hold my boo, darling, hold my creed. Is Ben on Hamzat an infinite money glitch? I mean, it really is. I've never lost money doing it. So I think it's a fairly good one. Cameron Roston. This guy has no fights. Nice. Dana White Contender Series lad. Jonathan Malakaev. Has he also fought Kevin Jousset? He has also fought Kevin Jousset. This is his only fight on his record. Isn't that 2 guys who's fought Kevin Jousset? Maybe I'm tripping. Colby Thicknessy. Oi, mate. Colby Thicknessy. This guy's absolutely amazing, mate. Did you see Guru's new camera angle? I did, yeah. I did see it. I don't even know if it's a different camera angle. It's a different, it's just a different camera. It's like a high quality camera that he's using. He dominated Jousset 30-27. Yeah, he was that was with you where he was spamming body kicks, right? He was spamming body kicks on him. Yeah, Tom Nolan. Nope. That was like a body kick heavy fight. But Kevin Jousset was a judo guy, and he didn't implement any judo in the slightest. Against Obon Elliott coming off a loss to... I don't remember that one. But he knocked out at Rafael Hafez, right? I thought Obon Elliott was actually going to be like something. Those are the days when we thought Obon Elliott was going to be something. Jamie Malarkey. Now, are we betting on Jamie Malarkey? I think we're going to bet on Jamie Malarkey. I mean, this is a terrible build. Dude, this is like the battle of like the worst build in UFC history. What is this build right here? This is genuinely an atrocious build. The actual hips wider than his shoulders. I mean, how is that possible? Skinny legs, long arms, Edgar cut, big ears, big nose. Like this is not a real person. This ain't a real person. What happened to the fighter who called the whole crowd F-slurs? Charles Radke? Is that what you're talking about? Isn't he fighting soon? I thought he was fighting pretty soon. Charles Radke. He lost to he was in Canada and he lost to the Canadian guy, so you can't be saying that in Canada. We do not let that slide, buddy. We do not let that slide. MMA Joey slipped out my top 3 MMA YouTubers now. MMA Joey slipped out, and I'm there next to Benny P. All right, bro. And Benny. Okay, that's fair. Nice. I'm there with that's probably the worst top 3 lineup I've ever heard of. Benny P, MMA, and Dag. Like this is the rejects table. This that you know who us 3 belong at? We belong at the table with literally nobody. We are the virgins of this shit, bro. You know, Guru, Lucas Tracy, Bedtime. Those guys are like the Chad football players, and I'm just the popular loner. Right now we get to see how fat and gross Guru is in 4K. Yeah. I mean, his face takes up the entire camera. Like, this guy's so close to the camera all the time. It's crazy. You look like a mix of Steve Urseg and Netanyahu. Not at all. Steve Urseg? I don't look anything like Steve Urseg. And I don't look anything like Netanyahu. What? Malcolm #1 should be a job. True. Malcolm Wellmaker fan says, I am a gay prostitute. Maybe you are, bro. I'm not here to judge, okay? I'm here, bro, says Brandon. What's up, Brandon? Remember when I told you cost versus RDR wouldn't happen? Oh yeah, man, I don't miss. Bro, you said Fluffy versus RDR is still happening. I remember you said that explicitly. I could find the clip too. Daggum May. What's up, Var? That lineup is a band table at the cafeteria. Nobody likes them or respects them. They were mysterious loners. They always smell bad too. Yeah, that's yeah. Me, Benny P, and Unk are definitely the band kids of the MMA sphere, bro. We definitely are the band kids of this shit. Alright, let's see. And then we got Ankalaev Pereira too. That's a banger. Fiziev versus Oliveira. I mean, this is a pretty solid card. Right? No Fiziev, but I don't know who's gonna. Did Kayla Harrison block you after the DMs? No, I don't think so. I'll have to double check. I don't think I don't think she's looking at it, bro. I don't think she's looking at it. Maybe I could try to DM more fighters. Who should I try to DM? Dude, I'm still mad, man. She hasn't replied to my DM. What a sad world we live in. And my DM was so polite too. My DM was literally so polite. Hey Kayla, I love what you're doing to women. World flat instead of world round, right? It's world flat. Also, I love how big your muscles are. I also fantasize about how they would feel atop me. But do you also fantasize about how they would feel atop me? If you do, please let me know. I'll send you my email, lol, once you see this and reply. I also would love to meet and greet you. I think that would be awesome. Epic, 120 IQ, pro, non-noob. This is who I am, and if you don't like me, if you don't like it, don't talk to me. I'm also a Hugh Muchley person. By the way, I love you. Will you marry me? Dag signing out, drop mic. I mean, dude, if that's not a DM that everybody would want to see, I don't know what is. That's not the perfect DM. I don't know what is. A Fiziev out. Olives don't want to fight Gamera. Bro, card is cooked. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not bad. Let's take a look. I mean, we got Karolina Kowalkiewicz, right? Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Oops, I clicked a button. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, did you guys know she has an OF? It's not just Ailin Perez who has an OF. It's not just Ailin Perez who has an OF, bro. Karolina Kowalkiewicz also. Bro, what is this? It's also Karolina Kowalkiewicz who has one. And I'm not too familiar with this girl. Doesn't even really look like a girl, but it is what it is. Lucas Rocha versus Stuart. Okay. Ricardo Ramos versus Khan Olfi. Dude, why do these guys' faces not look real? Is this just me, or like this guy's face looks like a face swap of like Max Holloway, Alex Pereira, and like Charles Oliveira. This face is not real. We also have this Irina Alex, okay, Bia, Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Oh Jesus! What is this card, bro? What is this card? What is this card? Lucas Almeida, Mitchell Aswell. All right, interesting. Dude, why are these guys' faces look like? Dude, these guys' faces don't look real. This is not a real face, bro. This guy looks like he hasn't slept in like a year. Versus Clayton Carpenter. Okay. Oh my gosh, bro. Let me scroll. Then this one. Vicente Luque, Santiago Ponzinibbio. This fight is also off. I don't know if you guys knew that. This fight is also off. I think who's stepping in? Oh, what's his name? The Spanish guy, Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez is stepping in to take on Vicente Luque, which is a pretty rough one. I mean, going from Santiago Ponzinibbio to Joel Alvarez, big yikes there. Walter Walker, Muhammad Usman. That's an easy first-round submission for Walter Walker. I don't think Muhammad Usman is going to be... I mean, at this point, you got to be like dedicating your entire camp to ankle locks, but I just don't see anybody at the heavyweight stopping the godforsaken ankle lock of Walter Walker. He'll just run at Muhammad Usman. The problem is the takedown defense of Muhammad Usman. He could stuff the takedowns of Walter Walker, and Walter Walker has like trash takedowns. Like if you've seen his last fight against Donto Mays, I think Donto Mays was his last fight. He literally just sprinted at Donto Mays, like head down, just lunging at him like this, like no setup, classic heavyweight stuff. Janata Deniz versus Mario Pinto. I mean, big yikes. Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. This fight is no longer on as well. Physio's about, yeah. Benny P's highly respected in Australia, 15K Twitter followers. He's an Aussie, Ariel Hawani. He interviews them Aussie fighters. Okay. She might be contacting the authorities. That's a very creep DM. Nah, no way. Not gonna lie, I could see her track you down and beat the shit out of you for that. And I would invite her to. I would say, open arms. Please do that. Please absolutely destroy me. Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. That's an interesting fight. It's a very interesting fight. Montel Jackson. KO'd Blackshear. Right? KO'd Yaya. UD'd. He's not too bad. He ain't too bad. And then here, I wish we could see Benoit Saint Denis in this. I would want to see Benoit Saint Denis versus Charles Oliveira in this position. Well, I don't know why we're not seeing that fight. It really sucks. I mean, if you're Benoit Saint Denis, you need to take opportunities like this, bro. Like, I understand you know, you fought DP and you lost and messed with your confidence. You fought Moicano, who's a grappler, and it messed with your confidence. Fight Oliveira, bro. This is the Benoit Saint Denis got real power in his hands. Gamrot's a bum, not at all. He's literally the only guy in the UFC rankings who's willing to fight Charles Oliveira in Rio. No one else wants to do that. Nobody else wants to. And Charles is ducking literally everybody who does want to. It's like Charles Oliveira's getting on interviews talking about, all these guys are ducking me. None of these guys who talk on Twitter want to fight me, this and that. And then he goes on to say, yeah, I actually don't want to fight certain fighters because, you know, it's a stylistic mismatch. It's like, bro, accept the fight, man. Is this a good card? Veronica Hardy, banger. Patchy Mix, banger. Right? Macy Chasson? Yana Santos? She looks like about like 80 years old. That's interesting. Basharat Gutierrez, that's a banger. This is an actual banger. Shabazian Muniz, it's an interesting fight, but not a banger. Gautier Diaz, interesting fight. RIP Diaz. Abus Pfeiffer, banger, genuine banger. Zalal Emmett, banger. Roundtree Prohaska, banger. Marab Sanhagen, banger. I think Uncle I Pereira, banger. The Ritter Allen. This is also a pretty solid card. Asmat Bekayev versus Yuzi Baghwari. He's Pereira's guy. Kyle Preplik, Drew Dober, banger. Danny Barlow, interesting. Tricoli Abdul Malik, Bruno Silva, Hong Song Park, Jordan Grant, interesting. Frivola Nelson, Arichi Lang Gibson, Judavicius Farrow. This is interesting. Jasmine Jazavicius versus Manan Farrow. Wow, I didn't expect that one. I didn't even realize that was on the card. I remember, I forgot it was on the card. Zahabi Vera banger, Mallet Holland banger, Allen Ritter banger. Then Gone Aspinall. What's that shaping up to be like? Batty, Mitch Raposo, Asmat Maxim, Ikram, Jung Young Park versus Ikram Aliskarov. What? Hamdi Al Hawab. Ah, Jesus. This guy needs to be cut. I do not like Hamdi Al Hawab. I don't know why. How are you losing to Muhammad Usman? That's my question. Racket Mirzakhanov, Bautista Umar, Volkov Almeida, Dern Jandaroba. I mean, come on. This is the people's main event right here. This is... Dude, why are fighters' legs so ugly? I guess it's just because they take so much damage. These legs are not... It just looks so busted up. Manly feet, too. Jesus. I was thinking... Nope. Kill Harrison has got back to my tweets before. Sucks to suck, mate. Nope. Gamrot is a bum. Benoit Saint Denis mauled by Oliveira, bro. Nah, I doubt it. Benoit Saint Denis probably beats Oliveira, I'd say. And Gamrot probably beats Oliveira. And then I think Gamrot would lose to Benoit Saint Denis. I think Oliveira would lose to Benoit Saint Denis. The only guy who beats Benoit Saint Denis in the top 15 right now, as of today, is Max Holloway. Is Justin Gaethje loses to him. Paddy loses to him. I think Max Holloway is the only guy to be able to beat Benoit Saint Denis, truthfully. Benoit Saint Denis would smoke Charles. If it would be pointless for us to take the fight. Everyone knows what would happen. We're holding out for a title shot after that domination over the undefeated Fluffy. True. Dude, we secured the biggest win over the most talented fighting nerd. Ruffy has always been the most talented fighting nerd, and we secured a win over him. So we should be looking towards an Armand fight, maybe a Holloway fight, or even Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis is probably a good fight. I love that fight. Yesterday I was typing smack about Alex. All of a sudden, someone with the Alex shirt passed by. They're onto me, bro. There's no Shama group chat. Okay, there's no Shama shadow government. The Shama shadow government was dismantled early in the 90s. They are no longer existing. And if you believe they exist, you're just a conspiracy theorist who doesn't know what you're talking about. Name one good Benoit Saint Denis win. Ruffy, Matt Frivola, dude. Ruffy, Matt Frivola. Okay, that Dustin Poirier loss could be counting as a win if you didn't add staff. Right, that Moicano loss. Kyle Prepelec, that's another huge Benoit Saint Denis win. You know what I'm talking about. Thiago Moises, huge win. Thiago Moises, okay? They know I'm one of the top uncle lovers in the nation. Yeah, the Shama world government doesn't care about you, bro. You're not on their list, okay? You're not enemy number one, okay? Ruffy's a great win. It is. Ruffy was never good. He was. Should I stream snipe? I show speed? Nah. Ruffy best win was King Green. Ruffy's best win is King Green. Paddy Pimblett's second best win is King Green. And he's in title talks. You know what I mean? Paddy Pimblett, second best win. King Green, he's in title talks, right? So if Ruffy beat Chandler, which he would have beaten Chandler, he would have been in the same position as Paddy Pimblett. So basically, Benoit Saint Denis beat Paddy Pimblett, and that's a pretty solid win. You know, that's Benoit Saint Denis beat Paddy Pimblett. He's up there for the title talks. Ruffy was a Ness McGregor until he ran into the Benoit Saint Denis buzzsaw. True. All the fighting nerds said Ruffy is the best out of them. True. Yeah, Ruffy was actually beating. I'm pretty sure Ruffy and the Fighting Nerds trained with Sean. Ruffy actually has a win over Sean Strickland and has a win over Habib. I heard Ruffy KO'd Habib in sparring. I think we heard that not a meme, but that story. It's a real story. Max Holloway gets shit on by Beno Saint Denis. The only one who can defeat him is Arman Aurelia. Nah, Max Holloway would put the beats on Arman, put the beats on Ilya, put the beats on Oliveira. Max Holloway is probably the next. I'd probably say Max Holloway is the next title, the next champion at 155. I mean, who's gonna be able to stop Max Holloway? Nobody's gonna be able to stop Max Holloway. You think Ilya's gonna stop Max Holloway? No, 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 no. Ilya needed a freaking needed a huge weight cut, 10 extra pounds already after moving up. You know, Ilya needed a weight drained Holloway to KO him. So, are the Fighting Nerds are bums? Nah, the Fighting Nerds are still top 5 best gyms right now. Could be top 3, but it depends on how you quantify the mechanics of the irrational fears of gyms world round in the molecular structure of the astral plane, figuratively, and by all means, literally. The craziest thing happened. This girl I banged 3 months ago ghosted me, and I randomly saw her in another city at the supermarket today. Crazy. Wow. Life's so crazy. It's not like anything can happen. Yeah, that's so true, dude. That's actually so factual. Paddy Pimblett isn't good either. Paddy Pimblett he's not too bad. Paddy Pimblett ain't too bad. Ruffy is a bum. I knew that the moment when he said Connor will be in his corner against Islam. Dude, Ruffy is good. What are you talking about? Beno Saint Denis probably beats. I think the Beno Saint Denis that beat Ruffy, or the Beno Saint Denis that beat Matt Frivola, or the Beno Saint Denis that beat Thiago Moises beats Islam, beats Habib, beats Connor, beats, Fiziev, Gaethje, Poirier, Moicano, Oliveira, Arman, Ilya. I think the Beno Saint Denis we've seen in the past, dude, this guy's a killer. This guy's an absolute borderline marauder. He literally is the definition of, he's a zombie. He's a zombie. He's a marauder zombie, walks forwards, lands his punches, doesn't care about any of the return fire. But Holloway has no ground game compared to Beno Saint Denis or Arman. No ground game. What are you talking about? Max Holloway has a good ground game. I don't know what you're talking about. Max Holloway is better ground game than freaking Oliveira, dude. Because you think about it, Oliveira got taken down, controlled on the ground by Ilya. Max Holloway was never controlled on the ground. He was taken down by Ilya, Max was, but Max immediately got back up to his feet. Charles Oliveira couldn't do that. So, Max Holloway doesn't have much of an offensive wrestling grappling game, but his defensive grappling game is next to none. Next to none, bro. Ruffy's a bum. Nope. That's too far. No way anybody beating King Habib in sparring. Dude, Ruffy was beating up Habib in sparring, and then Islam apparently broke it up and said, Braza, this not the Dagestan way, Braza. We don't do this, Braza. We pay off ref, brother. BSD is genuinely buns. Stop it. Stop playing with me, bro. Beno Saint Denis is good. If you gave Beno Saint Denis staph medication that instantly cleared his staph infection when he was going in for his fight against Dustin Poirier, dude, come on. Poirier didn't even try to take down Max. He tried to take him down in the first round. What are you talking about? At the end of the first, he tried to take down Max Holloway, and he successfully did it, but he didn't get anything from it. Didn't land any big shots. Didn't get any control time. Didn't get any submissions. He did nothing, bro. Who would you bet all your assets on, Islam or Ilya? Islam, bro. What are you talking about? Ilya, how can you put any money on Ilya? This guy was losing to Volk, right? He was losing to Holloway. He wasn't looking the best against Oliveira, right? And then he just lands these KO blows. Whereas Islam's never been losing a fight and had to pull it out the fire. Islam's never been losing a fight and had to be like, all right, I need a finish or else I'm gonna lose this fight. You know, Islam's never been in that position. So why would you? And Ilya has been in that position against Volk, against Max, even against freaking Bryce Mitchell. This guy wasn't looking the best, and we all know how chinny Bryce Mitchell is. So yeah, Ilya just happens to KO all of them. Yeah, I mean he's catching guys at the right time in their career. I mean it's all about timing, right? You got to think about it. Most of the stuff is all based around timing. Ilya fought Volk when he was coming off a quick turnaround, 2 months turnaround, and a KO loss up a weight class. So he caught Volk at the right time. Caught Max Holloway being weight drained. Caught him at the right time, you know? So. And he caught Oliviera. Oliviera, lowest confidence he's ever had. The worst performance he's ever had against Chandler he was coming off of. So. Bro, Ilya would KO Islam if he trains his takedown defense. If he trains his takedown defense, no. Ilya wouldn't be, man. Ilya, remember the last time Ilya fought someone who was healthy? Who's the last guy Ilya fought that was healthy? Josh Emmett. And look what happened in that fight, man. Last time he fought someone healthy, dude. This guy freaking lost, dude. No, I'm just kidding. But he had a war with Josh Emmett. Islam or JDM? In a fight, Islam. Who do I like more? Probably Islam. I'm just not too hyped on JDM right now. He needs to prove himself, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to prove himself against the King Islam. It looks like Max blessed Holloway at Springs during his fight against Brian T. City Ortega on UFC 231. Bro, Islam would KO Ilya if he just trains. Yes, Islam would probably KO Ilya. What do you mean he had springs during his fight? He had springs during his fight with Brian Ortega? Springs? I don't know what you mean by that. Just because. Are you going to get taken down? Oh, yeah. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Bro, why am I so tired, man? I got a good jiu-jitsu class to go to later today. What's the point, F? What's the point, mate, eh? What's the point, eh? I don't know. I don't know what the point of what. I don't know. Jesus, it scared the shit out of me. You're gonna crash out. Why? What's the point of watching UFC knowing Dag and May can beat them all? Yeah. It's probably a really big what's the point? That is a huge what's the point, man. What is the point? What is the point of any of this? Knowing I could KO him. Dag is to Islam to my Habib. What does that even mean? Dag is the Islam to my Habib. Oh, I am the Islam to your Habib. Okay, interesting. I'm nobody's Islam, bro. I am Dag and May. Dude, I kind of just want to, you know, get to 320. Let's get to 320 already. I don't want to see this Australia card, mid-A card. GTA Online ain't working. You're going to crash out. GTA Online? Bro, who's still playing GTA 5 online? Everybody's got to at least wait. We got to wait till GTA 6 comes out. Do you think Amavov will be the one? What? Do you think Amavov will be the one how take the title shot? And do he have chance to beat Hamzat? Oh, yeah, Amavov's getting the title shot, yeah. I mean, RDR is fighting Brendan Allen. I mean, let's be serious. Brendan Allen's, you cannot get a title shot off of beating Brendan Allen, right? Because if that's the case, everybody at this point should have a title shot. You know, you can't get if it was RDR Fluffy, the winner, if they had a good performance, the winner should have gotten a title shot. But now it's kind of just a Mavov's playing field a little bit, I feel, you know. And he doesn't really. Mavov's got no chance to beat Chimaev. I mean, what Mavov got taken down by Sean Strickland, right? Mavov couldn't get takedowns in Israel Adesanya. I was rewatching some clips of that fight. It was a pretty rough fight. It was a pretty rough fight, guys. If I'm being candid. You have more skills, but when it's smash time, you know who's big brother. Yeah, we're not role playing as Islam and Habib. This is not. I'm not gonna role play with you about I'm not gonna pretend to be Islam, and you pretend to be Habib. I feel like this would just lead to like some weird sexual fantasy if you have. You know what I mean? Like me pretend to be Islam and you pretend to be Habib. I could definitely see this down the line being like, you know, Brother, I want to show you position, brother. Brother, I want to show you position from full mount, brother. This very secret position. We cannot tell anybody, brother. Brother. My father showed me this. You need to be very, very careful. We need to practice in jacuzzi so we can get... First, we need to oil up to simulate sweat in fight, brother. Okay? This is... Okay? We need to get very serious. We need to turn off light, brother. We need to add oil to simulate sweat, brother. We need to tell nobody because this is our secret, brother. Nobody can know about secret. Alright, brother? Yes, brother. Alright, now... I'm also gonna be wearing... brother, I'm also wearing gi. Brother, I'm also wearing the gi. So you need to grab my belt, brother. It's a little squishy. It's a little squishy belt, brother. But just be patient, brother. Just think, okay? I need you to grab my belt here, brother. Just like that. Brother, this belt. Squeeze hard belt, brother. Squeeze hard belt, brother. Brother, please squeeze belt harder, brother. But anyways, brother, how you tap, go sleep, yeah. What would it take to collab with Hung? I don't know. GTA 4, 5 is the bad one? 5 is good. What are you talking about? Mavov Hamzat face-off will be cool. I don't think a Mavov wants to fight Hamzat. He's French. Does Brendan Allen have one fan? Dude, my favorite pastime used to be betting on Brendan Allen, but I slowly started to realize Brendan Allen is one of the dumbest guys out there. He truly is. Like, this guy wins round 1 every single time, and then immediately fades and just gives up on himself. Charles Oliveira isn't ducking. He's on his knees for John's Sexual Chocolate Jones. He's not on his knees for John Jones, bro. This guy's genuinely ducking. Come on, it's jacuzzi time. I'm pulling up with the switchy, bro. All right. You're pulling up with the switchy. Yeah. Said by some 15-year-old white guy from the suburbs. Dude, don't make me pull up the freaking switch, dude. Yeah. You know what a switch is, bruh? I'll literally pull up the switchy, bruh. Don't make me spin on your block one more time, buddy. You're on thin ice, pal. I'll spin on your block with the switch anytime I want, okay? Some days you look attractive, other days... Alright, bro, shut the fuck up. Brother, get on your back. Let me show you something. Brother. Get in doggy. I mean, turtle position, brother. Let me get hooks in, brother. No, please, brother. Let me get hooks in, brother. The only Switch he has is Nintendo. Yeah, true. Don't send me a bullshit contact, brother. Would you suck on Alexa Grasso's toes? I mean, come on. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. Would I suck on Alexa Grasso's toes? I mean, do I need to answer that question? I feel like we all know the answer to that question. I feel like we should all know it by now. The answer is 100%. Yeah. Alexa Grasso, let me. Yeah. You know, I think if I ever met Alexa Grasso, there'd definitely be a restraining order filed. And I wouldn't blame her. I'd be like, you know what? That's fine. Do what you want. Kayla Harrison, I know you ain't about that restraining order life, alright? I know you ain't about it. Brother, why are you obsessed with Dagestan? No. Diego Lopez would not be happy with you. I'm not happy with Diego Lopez, so The feeling is mutual, bro. This guy stole my shotty, so he stole her he stole her out of the grips of my palms, the grips of my hands. Okay? I was this close to begging Alexa Grasso, and Diego Lopez snatched her out of there. Absolutely disrespectful. Remember when Lopez beat the Goy? Yeah. I don't think you know what Goy means. Diego Lopez, I hate to break it to you, also Goy. Goyim. Diego Lopez, also Goyim. Okay? So I think you gotta relearn your definitions. Goy isn't just about someone who supports Israel, bro. It's anybody who's non-Jewish. Remember when people were saying Bo and Allen gonna be champs? I was probably one of those guys who was saying Allen could be like a tough fight for a lot of guys. I still think he is a tough fight. Even though he loses in like lame fashion, Brendan Allen is a tough fight for a lot of the top guys. I know, but he didn't accept his role as cattle. Yeah, but then you can't call John Silva Goy. You gotta finish the word. You gotta use Goy cattle. You gotta use Goy cattle. They're very different, bro. I had a bunch of sushi. I ate a bunch of sushi today and didn't tip. The Asian lady said, "No tip." And I said, "Life ain't fair," and walked away. How based was it? How based is it? Or am I just a loser? It depends. If you're wearing like a leather jacket, right, and you're driving a motorcycle, then it'd make sense. It would make sense of being like, "Sorry, babe, life ain't fair," and you had a southern accent, then I'd be like, "Oh, it's pretty base." But if it was more like a, "Man, life ain't fair, dude. Yo, dude," like if you're 5'6" beta male, then it ain't based at all. You know? You saying I'm from the suburbs in 15? You don't even know me, boy. Yeah, that's how a white kid from the suburbs sounds. 15-year-old from the suburbs type like that. Did you eat your goy slop today? My goy slop. Goy slop is a crazy word. I did not. My goy slop. Nah. Coulon. Thoughts on John Silva defeat? It sucks. I mean, it was supposed to be John Silva getting the title shot. It really was supposed to be John Silva. Because John Silva needed to beat Diego Lopez, and then we could have had an entertaining 145-pound division. Now, look at the top of 145. Movzar, Murphy, Lopez, Aljo, like a bunch of decision merchants and guys whose Volk is already beaten. You glazed Dagestan, it's falling off, to be honest? No. Well, you was almost right. I'm 17, but ain't from the suburbs. Yeah, you're from the city in a penthouse. Could have had Baldy versus Baldy. Dude, it would have been the best Baldy versus Baldy fight you've ever seen. Because I don't think Volk is the type of guy to capitalize on, like, super overextensions. You know what I mean? Volk isn't the type of guy to throw spin and stuff or step back, fade, counter. Bro's from a gated community. Yeah. I heard the fighting nerds train under New York City. Imagine Brendan Allen versus Rob Font if they were the same weight class. It would be the most auraless fight ever. Yeah, probably. No, I think Roman Dolidze has less aura. Well, at least there's like a threat. At least there's a threat of Roman Dolidze. Like he might submit you. He might calf slice you or something. You know? So who else has no aura? Josh Emmett, he kind of has aura. I think Aljo has no aura. I think Aljo literally has no aura whatsoever. Aljo's never had aura. You know, like Piotr Jan versus Aljo is like the most amount of aura you've ever seen versus the least amount of aura you have ever seen. You know, at least Merab has like cardio aura, but it's like Aljo's got no aura. Aljo has more aura than Hamza? Nah, no way. No. Aljo has no aura. No aura whatsoever. No aura. Mavzar's got aura. Ron Murphy kind of has aura. Who else don't have aura? Gamrot Loki has a crazy amount of aura. Gamrot has like a huge amount of aura. I feel like everybody's ducking him. Nobody wants to fight Gamrot. I feel like Gaethje, Ilya's got some solid aura. Patty has like aura, but like it's just like a stupid type of aura, like a non-existing aura, basically. Like his aura is just absolute garbage. Gamrot's so goated, yeah. Uncle Live his aura, kind of. Yadong O'Malley, not happening. It's not happening. O'Malley needs to fight Henry Cejudo. That's a great fight. Mawzar has most aura. Mawzar's aura. Yeah, he has more aura. I feel like guys who like get constantly ducked and overlooked are like they have the most amount of aura. Yuri has solid aura, right? Jamal Hill lost all aura. He had a crazy amount of aura after the Glover fight, I feel. Sean O'Malley, aura. Petr Yan, aura. Corey Sandhagen. Average aura. Average aura, for sure. Thoughts on Yadong O'Malley? Didn't you already say that? Didn't I already say that? Khabib had aura? Yeah, he had aura. Petr Yan doesn't have aura? Yeah, he does. He has a lot of aura. Aljo's negative aura, like I don't get how Aljo has negative aura. Like I don't get how be a former UFC champ and have less aura than Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty does not have aura. Neon Loki has more aura than Aljo. Neon has higher aura ratings than Aljo's. Aljo does. True. LeBron has so much aura, he survived 8 bullets. If Patty doesn't have an accent, he would have no aura. True. If Patty didn't have an accent, he probably would have been cut by the UFC by now. Let's be honest. He would have never gotten a King Green fight. He would have never gotten a Tony Ferguson fight. He would have never gotten a Michael Chandler fight. We cannot be serious. We cannot be serious. Topuria walkout is so much aura. Yeah. Chimaev's walkout is the most aura. Most aura you've ever heard of, you've ever seen with your eyes is Chimaev. The most amount of aura is Chimaev at the end of the day. Mava's starting to get aura. No, I don't think kind of, yeah. Mavov is kind of getting some aura. He's growing in the aura setting for sure. Doing an aura tier list, maybe. Would you do a YouTube boxing match against Neon? Bro, I would piece Neon up. That wouldn't even be close. My friend who's a casual phoned me and was so hyped he met a UFC fighter. He told me it was Aljo. I laughed so hard like he's the worst fighter to meet. He's not the worst fighter to meet, dude. You know how many guys are like worse to meet than Aljo? Aljo has no aura, but meeting Aljo is still like pretty dope. There's way worse guys to meet. Like way worse guys to meet. You know? Like could you imagine meeting Matt Frivola? Be like, dude, I just met a UFC fighter. It's like, oh, who? Matt Frivola. You'd be like, Matt Frivola? Or like Neil Magny. You'd be like, Neil Magny? That's a pretty trash win. Santiago Ponzinibbio, trash guy to meet. Juliana Miller, throwing one out there. Right? That's for the hardcores. Juliana Miller, you'd be like, bro, who is that? Who else is there that's like lame to meet? There's so many guys. There's so many guys that, you know, just too many. Like Ramon Tavares, you know, Damon Blackshear, Davy Grant, you know. Any of like the lightweight guy, the lighter weight guys are just like, I don't want to meet you, bro. Morono, yeah, Alex Morono is the worst fighter to meet. D-Rod. D-Rod's ranked. So he's D-Rod Loki has aura right now. D-Rod has aura right now. Let's be honest. This is the most amount of aura D-Rod has ever had, ever will have. But he does have aura. You could say I met a ranked UFC fighter. If you met Alex Morono, you'd be like, bro, who is that? Who is that? Alex Morono. Like, come on. Absolutely no aura. Yo, dude, I just met I just met a UFC fighter. Who? Alex Morono. Yeah, you're done, bro. You're done. Yo, I just met a UFC fighter. Who'd you meet? Jamie Malarkey. It's like, what? You met Jamie Malarkey? Like, come on. Ken Green has more aura than anybody. Nope. Hamza Loki be sprinting straight into the cameraman. Yeah. Jose Medina. Nope. You ending stream soon on me? Nah. Would you do a wrestling match against Neon? Of course, bro. A grappling match against Neon. Wrestling match would be like no, because it'd be two guys who like really don't know anything. It'd be pretty bad. But a grappling, yeah, for sure. Would you win in a fight? Who'd win in a fight? Kenny on steroids or Unk on cocaine and coached by Habib? Depends on how long Unk has been coached by Habib and whether it's crack cocaine or just regular coke sniffing stuff. And Kenny on steroids? What type of steroids? Is it just like testosterone or is it like EPO? And like, you gotta be more specific here, dude. I can't just answer these questions all willy nilly. Someone Strickland has no aura despite being champ and beating good fighters. Yeah, but he also ruins his aura. Like he hangs around Nina too much. Like that's if Strickland didn't hang around Nina and continues his ways, like how he was talking and all this, he spends two things that Strickland does extremely wrong that ruins his aura. First thing he does wrong is that he spends way too much time with Nina Drama. Second thing he does wrong, he spends way too much time on Twitter. I mean, this guy's literally just a Twitter demon, bro. Actual Twitter demon. Let's see if anybody's talking about um let's see if no 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 nothing's changed on the Gamrot Oliveira fight. Sucks. What? Hold up, let me show you guys this. Charles Oliveira's manager / coach posted 3 flags on his Instagram story. An English flag, an Armenian flag, or a Mexican flag. Damn. Test an EPO for Kenny. Unk is on crack and has been coached by Habib for 3 months. Oh, Unk, easily. Coached by Habib for 3 months? I think Unk. No, test an EPO for Kenny. I'm switching. I'm going Kenny. Strickland's walkout is lame. He thinks he's some tough American walkout, but it reminds me of Sesame Street. Really? Damn. Dude. Absolutely ducked Gamrot. He's more willing to fight a 145. Dude, how is he willing to fight? Grappler. All guys are grapplers. Like what? But he's saying can't find Gamrot because Gamrot's a grappler. Crazy. Lopez Patty, but who is Colombian? Bro, this is a Mexican flag. This isn't a Colombian flag. This is Mexican, bro. And by Mexican, he means Diego Lopez. Wait, it's Armenia? Yeah, this is Armenian. This is Armenian, bro. This is Armon. It's a Jamaican flag. That's not a Jamaican flag. Middle is Colombian. That's not Colombian. Am I tripping? Colombian. Yellow, blue, red. Red, blue, yellow. This is Armenian, bro. This is Armenian flag. Completely different, bro. Completely different. It does suck that he is ducking Gamrot, though. I mean, that's a fight we all wanted to see. It's a fight we all want to see. It's really unfortunate, bro. What happened to Magnus? He was here yesterday. I think, it's just UK time, and he's probably in, I don't know, it's probably late night or something. I don't know. So final answer is Kenny? Final answer is Kenny. You're asking me like that's a yes or no question. It's not a yes or no question. Damn. Charles Oliveira. I would want to see, which one would you guys rather, you want to see Paddy Pimblett Oliveira? I kind of want to see Armon rematch Oliveira. You miss Boxing is King? The guy was funny? He was. I miss him too, man. I miss him too. You guys are stuck, but nobody wants Armon. Nobody wants Armon. You'd rather see Paddy? Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, mate. I just don't know. I think. I don't know. I don't want to see Paddy get a title shot. But then again, the only problem with the Paddy fight is that Charles Oliveira would probably win, and then we end up in a situation where it's like, now what? If you do an Armon rematch, Charles Oliveira can either prove that he's back, or Armon solidifies himself as like okay, he's serious. Especially if Armon could KO Charles Oliveira, which I think he could, because he was wobbling Charles Oliveira, and Charles Oliveira UFC 300 actually looked extremely good. Charles sucks. No, he doesn't suck. Honestly, give Gamrot a title shot. Yeah, honestly, at this point, give Gamrot a title shot. I think Gamrot's super deserving. Give Gamrot. So this is what we do: Ilya versus Gaethje, Armon versus Paddy, Holloway versus Hooker. Then we do Oliveira Gamrot. And then we figure the rest out. He was robbed when Volk stepped in. Yeah, true. It should have been Gamrot against Islam. That is very true. We were robbed of that opportunity. I wouldn't mind it really. Gaethje was his retirement fight. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. That'd be a pretty solid fight. Do you see Charles? Shut up. Gamrot easy win. Gamrot's not fighting Charles Oliveira, but he would easily have beaten Ilya Oliveira. Malcolm Wellmaker, bro. It's not about lying about it. It's just like, I don't care. It just got announced? No. No, you're lying, bro. You're lying. No! No. What? I'm seeing so many different things right now. I see something. Fight news. Hold on, let me check UFC. I'm seeing all sorts of things. I'm seeing all sorts of things. Let me pull up Instagram. UFC Brazil announced it. Damn. Okay, I guess it's official. I guess it's official. Well, looks like MMA Guru's video that he just announced isn't looking too great. Wow. Okay. 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 You think Gamrot wins? I think it's interesting. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Gamrot needs to redeem himself for losing to Hooker. Yeah, true. Charles. Charles to Bronx. Dago would never lie to you. Thanks, bruh. I appreciate you, mate. I appreciate you. Guru bottled it so hard. Yeah, he did, bro. He did, but he bottled it, mate. He absolutely bottled it, bro. In it. But I also bottled it pretty hard, you know. It's a little bit pretty hard. How did Gamrot lose to Hooker? My boy had generational crash out when Gamrot sold his bet. Dude, I want to rewatch that fight. It's probably a good fight to rewatch. Let me pull up that fight. How did he lose? I haven't seen that fight since his I think I only seen that fight once. Didn't Hooker get like rocked? Hurricane types and no, stop it, stop it, stop it. You think I'll get banned if I play this? I'm gonna get banned if I play it. I'll commentate on it. I'll commentate on it. See if you guys like my commentary. Bruh. 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 Bro, the cameraman knows what he's doing. The cameraman knows what. Look, the cameraman's already panning down. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bruh. Okay. Gamrot's a little thick boy. Dan Hooker's tall and lanky. I also don't like Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, I don't know. He seems a little bit weird. Does he not? All right. Dan Hooker. What is that? Southpaw stance. Gamrot orthodox. Gamrot feinting the takedowns. Dan Hooker kind of just feinting a lot. Switching stances a lot. A lot of teeps to the body of Dan Hooker. Gamrot backing Dan Hooker up. Dan Hooker shuffles to the left. Gamrot follows him. Backs up. Tries to land a big overhand on Dan Hooker, but doesn't get it. Dan Hooker switches stances moving forward. Doesn't do anything with it. Feint and body kick from Dan Hooker. Body kick again from Dan Hooker. Gamrot blitzes in, misses. Ooh! Combo blitzing forward for Gamrot. Should I watch this on my own time? Should I watch this on my own time or just post up? Dude, Gamrot's cup is like weirdly large. What are you hiding under there, boy? You got any secret weapons we talking about? Boom, boom, boom. Dude. Gamrot could actually KO Oliveira. Dude, Gamrot will KO Oliveira. I could low-key see Gamrot dropping Oliveira, wobbles him, drops Oliveira. Gamrot goes into Oliveira's guard. Boom, 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 boom. Landing nasty elbows and KOs him. I could see that, low-key. You'd like to see Reyes win? I kind of want to see Reyes win. I want to see Reyes Yuri too. That'd be a banger. Look her Playboy up. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Does she got Playboy, bro? You need Reyes to win, but he's about to get chinned. Yeah, I think he's losing that. He doesn't wear a cup? Yes, he does. Gamrot, easy decision, 49-46. Against Charles, I think a TKO. I think it... It's not the same girl, is it? What's her name? Ain't no way. Nah, I guess it is the same girl. Okay. Solid one, dude. Yeah. Absolutely. Amazing. Dope. Love you for that. Shout out Brandon, dude. That was huge. I wonder how you know that, though. What course of actions led to you knowing that? You know? Were you just like, where's Omade? Yeah, I don't know. I always picture Gamrot at his arm size, then I see him in a fight. Yeah, I don't know. How tall is Gamrot? He's 5'10". He's not that short. He's not short, but he's a thicker guy. He's not like, he seems small, like a small lightweight, but he really isn't. Like against Fiziev, he seemed pretty tall. I think against Fiziev, he seemed like fairly small. No, he actually looked a lot bigger than Fiziev. He brings such good vibes. Yeah. Net spend or Osama-san? Net spend. What's his name? Osama-san? Osa Mason? Probably say Osa Mason. Fiziev is short for the division, could probably go down 145 permanently if he wanted to. Wasn't there talks of him going down to 45? Right? But now he's kind of like in like a solid position. Now he's in a solid position. Porra, carai. Porra, carai. Tabernac, Kalis, man. Kalis, Tabernac. Great pick. There's talks, but doctor said he couldn't cut. Ah. Yeah, he's a thick guy. 145, 155 to trade Ortega for Fiziev, shake up the division. Yeah, that'd be dope if they could just trade spots in the division. But was that a true thing of Ortega making weight like yesterday? Didn't Ortega make 145 yesterday? I don't know why. Like, this guy just decided all of a sudden just to make weight. Dude, I think Charles Oliveira
¿vale? Show fit, eso es muy raro.
Imp of Unk MMA peer pressured into smoking crack.
Impression of Unk MMA peer pressured into smoking crack. Unk MMA, it is I, the MMA gods. You must do another UFC facts video. But you first must smoke crack in order for it to get views. Sure, I'll do that. Oh my god, it's amazing, guys. You should do crack. Guys, and here's my 20th video of UFC facts you didn't know about. Well, I smoke crack, because this is amazing, guys. I should think they should trade Brian Ortega with Ibrahim Ibrahimov. The high-pitched voice for Unk. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Unk sounds like. Nobody cuts weight for a reason, like our god Tony. Yeah, yeah. Don't no idea what that means, dude. But yeah, I totally agree. Dude. Oh, inside and out. Oh, inside of me. Oh, inside and tired. Oh, inside of me. GSP cut to 155 was an own too. When did he do that? Did he really? Just randomly? But I guess Brian Ortega did it just to like prove he can make the weight. But I feel like he had 2 chances against Aljo, against Diego Lopez to prove he could make the weight. Did you and Unk ever collab? Nah. Never. Never did that, eh? Never. Why would I ever do that? Huh. Oh my gosh, bro, I don't like Aljamain Sterling. Thank you, though. Thank you, Malcolm Homemaker, bro. Thank you. You said you would? I said so many. I've said so many things, bro. At this point, it's just like to tease Habib fight. What? You're welcome for the money. Thanks. Aljo's Generations Woodley? Yeah, true. Except for rapping, he pushes some cheap rum brand. Yeah, no. Remember during COVID canceled fight with Habib and Tony did weight cut for no reason like a week before the Gaethje fight? Yeah, I do remember that. It was really weird. Ungrateful guy that cried tears of joy when you donated. Yeah, but you've never seen money like I seen money, brother. That's why GSP did it. Oh. I thought you were talking about the Brian or I thought you were saying Brian Ortega cut weight to 145 to tease the Habib fight. I was like, why would Brian Ortega cutting to 145 yesterday tease a Habib fight? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was missing something there, but yeah, GSP cutting to 155 does make more sense as to why. As to why he did cut down to 155. Yeah. But yeah, Aljo is the Generations Woodley, just like the guy that just doesn't know when to stop. Seriously, he just doesn't know when to stop. Do you ever approach girls in public? No, not really. That's why GSP. Tony said it was so he stayed disciplined. It was like a month before the Gaethje fight. Yeah, but I think Ali Abdelaziz set up Tony. I think Ortega versus Habib, the battle of eagle supremacy. That's true. That is true. That's very true. That would honestly, dude, call me crazy. Call me crazy. I think Habib would have won that one, dude. think Khabib would have genuinely beaten up Brian Ortega. Because if Sambo was easy, it would have been called jiu-jitsu. If Sambo was easy, brother, it would be called jiu-jitsu. I just still coping about the O'Malley, like Hunter Campbell convinced him to overextend and get KO'd. Dude, this guy refuses to let O'Malley, like he refuses to let that loss go. He refuses. He's like, nah, dude, I would have won. Dude, I would have won, dude. Dude, I was about to win, bro. It's like, Aljo, what are you talking about? This guy's talking about he was gaslit into taking that fight. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Gaslit into taking that fight. Bro, you could have said no at any point in time. Like, I don't understand. People used to think Ortega was the answer to Khabib when he was undefeated. Yeah, I know. But people said, but it's like, you know, I don't know. I think it's interesting because it's like, time is the victim. You know, time is the victim. It's like, Khabib, could Khabib survive in today's day and age? I don't think, brother. Brother, I don't think. I don't think Khabib would have beaten Volk. Dude, imagine if Volk fought Khabib. I don't think he could have beaten Khabib. I don't know. I changed my mind. I think Khabib would have beaten Volk. I think Kevin Lee could have beaten Khabib. You know? I think a lot of guys could have had a potential to beat Khabib, but Volk, no. Patty, no. Ilya, no. Armon, no. Oliveira, no. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who to beat in Khabib, man. I don't know. I think at the time, Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee would have been the guy. Nah, I don't think so. It all sucks. It all sucks when you come to the realization that Khabib actually was, like, extremely good. And, like, would have been, still, I believe, would have been fairly unstoppable. It is hard to come to that realization. Ortega would lose 50-45 and say it was a part of the storyline, dude. Yo, dude, it's just a part of the storyline, dude. Yo, an eagle must always clip his wings, dude. This is me just clipping my wings, dude. I'm glad you asked. Khabib would have no chance on the feet, bro. Yeah, on the feet. But Khabib's defense on the feet, it was sporadic, but it worked. Khabib's defense is on par with Floyd Mayweather's. You know, Floyd Mayweather got the Philly shell. Khabib got the just flail your arms out and move your head until you can secure a takedown. People bring up Khabib's career before the UFC, like it affects his legacy, his 10 out of 10 rage bay. Yeah. You're replying to the guy who said Khabib would sleep Volk. Yeah. I'm gonna be on you all night, T-Wood. Hey, T-Wood. Hey, T-Wood. I'm gonna be on you all night. I'm coming, T-Wood. And I'm coming a lot. I'm coming thickly, a lotly. T-Wood. Why did you take BJJ classes? Why? Because it's fun. It's fairly fun. Were you nervous for your first session? Was I nervous? Nah, I pulled up with a friend, so I wasn't too nervous. I'm coming, T-Wood. That's what he said. He said, I'm coming, T-Wood. He did say that. I'm not making this up. He said that. I'm coming, T-Wood. Hey, T-Wood. Khabib would not have slept Volk. But he would have beaten Volk. He would have beaten Volk for sure. Oh, sad and tired. Dude, when is MMA Guru live streaming? Dude, I need to see this new camera he got. I'm invested. I am invested in him. I'm fairly invested in what he has to offer. Oh, I'm sad and tired. Oh, say to me. Would you drop Connor? He KOs Volk easy? Yeah, he does. For sure, dude. You gotta remember, Volk got dropped by Chad Mendes. Chad Mendes' wrestling threat was able to drop Volk. So imagine what Habib's wrestling threat was. And people want to bring up the Islam Volk fight, but it's like, well, Islam was severely compromised because he only had 24 hours to rehydrate, didn't have 36 hours to rehydrate. You know what I mean? Netanyahu got Guru a new compound and filming setup, I heard. Guru's background different because he moved into a new compound. Wow, interesting. Even if not the GOAT, Habib to me is the boat. He is. Will you ever get a black belt? Probably. I don't know. I'm not worried about getting a black belt, bro. I'm not worried about a black belt. What I am worried about is getting submissions. I just want to submit, guys. That's the goal right now, is not getting submitted and toyed with is the goal right now. That's the goal. Volk got KO'd by featherweight Topuria. Meanwhile, Habib dropped lightweight Connor. Habib is way too big, man. I think so. Yeah. Volk dropped by featherweight Chad Mendes because of the wrestling threat. You know what I mean? Head kicked by Max Holloway. Dropped by Max Holloway. KO'd by Topuria. KO'd by Islam. Right? Now, an Habib overhand. Boom. Psh. Dropping Conor McGregor is not some legendary feat. What am I hearing? Dropping Conor McGregor is not a legendary feat. Who has dropped Conor McGregor? Habib. Who else has dropped Conor? Nobody else has dropped Conor. Outside of Dustin, but that was out of prime Conor. That was out of prime Conor. Prime Conor would probably head kick Volk. Prime Conor head kicks Volk. Imagine Guru saying, "Thank you for the $2, Netanyahu. Will you kiss the wall?" Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I guess Connor is not in prime because he loses. Very strategic take. No, Connor was not in his prime after the Donald Cerrone fight because he just kind of messed off. He did his own thing. In the Habib fight, he was heavily motivated. He was still in combat mode. And then he made a bunch of money and he kind of just messed off. He fought Donald Cerrone after. That fight made no sense at 170. Goes on to fight Dustin Poirier, where he literally said before the fight, he's like, yeah, I don't want to KO him. I want to go the full distance. He wasn't even trying to KO the guy. He just wanted to get back in the rhythm of it. Lost to Nate Diaz, by the way. Yeah, with staph infection, bro. With staph infection. What did he do? He then beat Nate Diaz, beat Eddie Alvarez, destroyed Eddie Alvarez. So I don't know what you're talking about. Why do you think he gassed so bad against Nate Diaz? It's because he had staph infection. I guess Eddie Alvarez. Yes, Eddie Alvarez, the champion who beat RDA. Well, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Eddie Alvarez would beat Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor when Conor McGregor was moving up 2 weight classes. That fight was at 170. Conor McGregor was a 145 fighter. Conor McGregor had staph infection. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. What a casual, bro. What a casual. Conor's higher than Volk all time. Yes, all time Conor is higher than Volk. Now, in terms of featherweight status, Volk is higher just because, Volk's legacy was a little longer. But all time, Conor McGregor above Volk. Because it's like Volk lost to Max Holloway twice practically. 2 KO losses back to back. Not looking too good at all. Like, let's stop. Volk only became featherweight champ. Because he beat Max Holloway, and it's like, bruh, he didn't even beat him. Yeah, let's be honest. Who was the first simultaneous double champ? Who was the first simultaneous double champ? Who successfully moved up a weight class and beat the champion? Who has had wins in 3 different weight classes in the UFC? Conor McGregor. Who has made the most amount of money? Conor McGregor. Why has he made the most amount of money? Because he's the best. Why has Floyd made the most amount of money in his sport, respectively? Because he is the best. Okay? You don't get paid. Why is Habib made a bunch of money? Because he was the best. You know, you got to think about why are these guys making so much money. It's because they're the best. Prime BJ Penn would smoke Volt. Don't get too ahead of ourselves here. Don't get too ahead of ourselves. Volt got 49, 46. Yeah. True. Making money equals skill. No, I'm not saying it equals skill, but I'm saying there is a large correlation to skill. God, you're a genius. Who was the double champion? Who was the simultaneous double champ? Who had success in 3 weight classes? Who is the biggest star? You know? Who transitioned to another sport and was winning against one of the greatest boxers of all time? Conor's win versus Eddie was the most locked-in fighter he's ever been in a single night. Yeah. Yeah, dude, stop. Beneil dropped Gamrot. You don't think Charles can find that chin? Gamrot was nervous against Beneil. He had the nerves. He was very nervous, bro. Hey, he was nervous. He just wasn't in the right mood, you know? He just wasn't. But Charles has been finished by way lesser fighters. He got submitted by Jim. Didn't he get submitted by Jim Miller? He got beat by Paul Craig. Yeah, you know. Charles Oliveira just got KO'd. He did. He just got KO'd brutally, might I add. He had a decision with Michael Chandler where Michael Chandler was rocking him. Michael Chandler's super open to get hit. And look what Charles Oliveira did. He did nothing. He did nothing against him. You know? So Gamrot absolutely fries him. You know? Hey? Conor's better technically too than Volk. Volk is a chef. He's not a fighter. Make me a steak, little guy, medium rare. And if you mess up, you're going to have to do it again. True. That gooner, Dean Thomas, said Ankh should be traded. Dude, Dean Thomas is a phony. Let's say it how it is. Dean Thomas is a phony. You don't think Gamera will be nervous on short notice by a dangerous guy that comes forward who he hasn't fought that is as aggressive? You think Charles Oliveira is going to be super aggressive coming off a KO loss? Gamera has underrated striking. To be honest, Prime Conor might actually KO current Volk if he leaves his chin up too much. Let me run the numbers real quick in my head. Yep, it adds up. It adds up. All right, boys. I'm dipping. Thank you all for being here. It's been your boy, Dang Meg. Go watch my most recent video. It's me breaking down Dominic Reyes versus for his upcoming fight. Go watch it. Go like it. Go subscribe to it. Go comment on it. It'd be who has Gamrot dropped? He finished freaking Fiziev, dude. Gamrot literally just finished Fiziev. What are you talking about? He finished Fiziev, bro. What are you talking about? Dom Reyes will win. Didn't he drop Hooker? I think he wobbled him. I don't know if he dropped him. Injury. Okay, how do you think the injury just happens out of nowhere? Does Fiziev's injury just happens in a vacuum? No. What caused the injury? What caused the injury? Gamrot caused the injury. How does that correlate? How does an injury in a sport where it's about injuring your opponent correlate? I don't know what you're talking about. Cope for Gamrot is wild. How is that cope? Gamrot finished Fiziev. Gaethje couldn't do that. Bahamondes couldn't do that. Moicano couldn't do that. Gamrot did. Who has Gamrot dropped? I mean, define what drop means. Define what drop means. Do you mean dropped as in someone does something which makes their opponent fall on the ground? Is that what a drop is? Then technically, Gamrot dropped Fiziev. But Gamrot has been fighting guys with way better chins than Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira gets dropped in every single fight. You know? So. Who has he dropped? He's got to drop somebody, right? So he finished Fiziev and finished Diego Ferreira due to strikes. Okay. I mean, he dropped freaking Scott Holtzman. Are we forgetting he dropped? Are we forgetting he dropped Scott Holtzman? Are we dude? Scott Holtzman is absolutely a marauder, guys. Are we forgetting? He dropped Scott Holtzman, dude. Are we forgetting the GOAT Scott Holtzman? Dude, you cannot be serious, dude. Dude. Dude, Gamrot finished Fiziev. What are we playing around here? What are we doing here? He wobbled Dan Hooker? He did wobble Dan Hooker. And Dan Hooker is a way better chin than freaking Charles Oliveira, bro. Charles Oliveira gets dropped by everybody. Bro, striking doesn't matter. Gamrot's gonna do the exact same thing Armand did. No, he's probably gonna. I think Gamrot's gonna land. Charles Oliveira has no head movement, no boxing defense. Gamrot's gonna drop Charles Oliveira because Charles Oliveira has no chin. I'm saying the statement, who has he dropped? Then you said Rafael. No, I said he finished Rafael. You said who's he dropped, and I pivoted. I said he finished Fiziev. And then I asked you, what's your definition of dropping? Because technically he dropped him because he injured Fiziev, which made him sit on his ass. Gamrot got nothing in his hands? Nope. Gamrot got nothing in his hands, such a casual statement? True. You rewatched it, by the way? I don't care. I know what I said. Gamrot brutally humiliating Armand, so he'll beat Charlie easily? Yeah, he will. Gamrot will beat Charles easily, and then he'll go on to fight for a belt. When has Gamrot been submitted? Never. Gamrot's undefeated. I don't know if you guys know this. He is undefeated. Alright, I actually got a dip. Go watch this one, boys. It's been your boy, Dagmay, signing out. Peace. Go argue in the comments of this video. Don't care. Bye-bye.